I am 25 years old and I have never been on a date. People find it strange, I think. They ask me why. Don't I get lonely? Isn't there someone out there for me? I smile and shake my head. They don't understand. There was someone for me. Her name was Angeline. Angeline was the sun and the moon to me. She was laughter and tears, sometimes all in the same breath. We were kids when we met, barely old enough to understand what love was. But I loved her. I loved her from the moment I saw her. And even though she's gone now, my love for her hasn't faded. It never will. Some might call me foolish, clinging to a love that can never be. They tell me to move on, to find someone new. But they don't know the depth of what we had. They don't know that some loves echo in eternity. And so I live my life quietly, my heart a shrine to a love story that death could not erase. We met in grade school, in a classroom that smelled of crayons and old books. She had sunshine yellow hair and a smile that could light up a room. Angeline. Even her name sounded like music. I was a shy boy, content to blend into the background. But Angeline saw me. She drew me out of my shell with her infectious laughter and her endless curiosity. We became inseparable, sharing secrets whispered in the hushed tones of childhood. We were best friends, two halves of a whole. I remember one day we were sitting beneath our favorite oak tree in the schoolyard. Angeline plucked a dandelion from the ground and held it up to my face. "Make a wish," she whispered, her eyes sparkling. I closed my eyes and wished for our friendship to last forever. Little did I know life had other plans. High school was a whirlwind of change and confusion, but through it all, Angeline remained my constant. Our friendship deepened, blossomed into something more profound. We were young, but we knew. We knew we were meant to be. Music became our sanctuary. Angeline played the piano with a passion that ignited my soul. We would spend hours lost in melodies and lyrics, our hearts beating in unison with every note. She had a particular fondness for old jazz records, the kind that crackled with age and whispered stories of forgotten dreams. It was during those years that the shadows began to creep in. Angeline's usual exuberance would sometimes give way to periods of intense sadness. She would withdraw into herself, her laughter replaced by a silence that spoke volumes. It was the beginning of a storm that would test the very foundation of our love. Angeline was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in our senior year. It was a label that terrified us both. Suddenly, her unpredictable moods, the highs and lows that had become all too familiar, had a name that carried with it a weight of stigma and fear. Our love story became a tapestry woven with both light and darkness. There were moments of pure joy, stolen kisses under the bleachers, shared dreams whispered under a starlit sky. But there were also times when the darkness threatened to consume her. Times when I felt helpless, unable to reach through the pain that held her captive. Angeline's light was extinguished too soon. She left this world on a cold December morning, taking a piece of my heart with her. The pain was unbearable, a gaping wound that refused to heal. But even in my grief, I found solace in the memories we made. In the quiet moments, I could almost hear her laughter, feel the warmth of her hand in mine. And sometimes, in the stillness of the night, she visits me in my dreams. Her sunflower smile, as bright as ever, reminding me that true love never truly dies. It lives on, an echo in the chambers of my broken heart.